Hello, I'm Shafiq Karam. I'm one of the team member of the Neurology Resident Fellow section. And I have here Dr. Alkin, who has been the editor of this section for the last 5 years. And I had the pleasure of working with you for the last 2 years. Can you please tell us a little bit when and why was this section created?
Sure. So the Resident and Fellow section of Neurology of the Green Journal was started in 2004 by Birch Griggs and Karen Johnston, who's the first editor of the section. And it was really started as an outlet for trainee writing, for residents, fellows, and even medical students to have an opportunity to write articles and publish manuscripts in the journal. And it's also an outlet for information about educational issues and topics that are of interest to trainees and educators in neurology.
And how did this evolve? How do you think the success of this section is?
So the section has been, I think, phenomenally successful. In 2004, there were about 12 articles submitted, and I think about half of those were published. And in the last year, in 2010, we went up to about 300 manuscripts submitted, and now we're accepting about 30 to 40% of those manuscripts. So the number of submissions has increased dramatically, and the quality of the manuscripts has improved as well. So we have a lot more material, and in addition, in the section, we have a lot of different subsections. So people are writing about a lot of different kinds of topics as well.
And what is the impact of this section on neurology as a field? And also let me ask you this, because I noticed that we get a lot of submission from not only trainee in neurology, but also sometimes from neurologist experts in their fields. And we get a lot of international submission too. So would you comment on that, please?
So I think that the impact has been pretty large in the world of neurology residents and fellows. I think people look forward to the articles that we have in this section. We have some other programs like the ePearl, for example, which is a weekly clinical pearl that is emailed to all residents. And I know that a lot of trainees look forward to getting those. And I think that people have really come to recognize the section as an important part of the educational experience. So they may go to the articles to learn about various topics. We have teaching, images, of course, which is a large part of the section. We have clinical reasoning cases. So I think the trainees go to look at the material itself. And I think it's also become an important part as far as an opportunity for residents and program directors to publish materials. So when people see interesting cases, as you have yourself, and you do this frequently, people will write up those cases and they know that there's a possibility of getting them published in our section. So I think that's been a nice part of it as well. So you also mentioned the international community. And we have seen a lot of submissions that come to us from the rest of the world also. So I think that we have had some impact even internationally as far as people recognizing this as another opportunity for both publishing and learning neurology.
Okay. Now, what do you think the future of this section is, and what challenges are you facing or you think we're going to face in the future?
I think that in the future, we can really take advantage of the new technologies that have become available and make the experience of the resident and fellow section even more interactive. I think the sky's the limit in terms of what we actually do, and we hope to have a lot of input from trainees themselves as far as the specific things that we do. But we've come up with some ideas for possible directions to go in the future. One thing that we could consider doing is involving residents in the manuscript review process even more than they are now. So, for example, I think that reviewing papers, reading papers, and really tearing them apart, seeing what the strengths and weaknesses of scientific papers is a good way to learn neurology and learn how to write manuscripts, how to do science. And so we could get residents around the country to be more involved in the process of reviewing papers for neurology, not just for our section, but for the journal as a whole. And so that would be one way in which we could make the experience more interactive and have a larger community participate in it. And I think that the new technologies that we have really make that a possibility. We have some other opportunities as well that I think we could exploit.
Thank you very much, Dr. Hampton. That was great.
Thanks, Shafiq. I enjoyed it.